Welcome. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome,
right.
welcome. This is, in my opinion, Pro Wrestling Podcast presents In My Opinion. And today with me, I have Tony Twist, one of the two hosts of All Things Wrestling Podcast. And we're here he's coming here today for the match of the year so far. We're going to discuss all kinds of questions. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, man. Happy to have you on.
Happy to be here, man. Happy Tuesday. Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday?
Taco Tuesday. It's time for a drink, man. Shit.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you, man. So for those who don't know, before we get started, for those who don't know what your podcast is all about, why don't you go ahead and put yourself over a little bit and tell the people what you do.
Yeah, so I am the host of ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, ATW __ podcast for life. That's FOR, not for life like NWO, but that's ATW _ podcast for life. You can find us on Facebook, ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast. So we just like this, we stream our show live every Sunday. 12 p.m. Eastern. We're always in different time zones, but I always just say 12 p.m. Eastern. My co-host, Alex Melendres, is in Detroit, Michigan. So I'm just used to saying Eastern Standard Time because like everyone else in the country, or unlike everyone else, in Arizona, we don't change time zones. Everyone else does. So I just like saying 12 p.m. Eastern. It just makes it easy for everybody. So, yeah, every Sunday we broadcast live. And then if you missed the show, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, off of Apple. We're on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. We're all over the interwebs. So we usually have a pretty fun show every Sunday. Try to have a good guest on. This week we just had a really cool wrestling journalist, Savannah Gill, who's a contributor to the Wrestling Republic, and she talked about an event that she's going to be covering next summer, which is the Pride and Vibe first ever or inaugural LGBTQ wrestling event in New Jersey next summer. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, I'm rambling on.
No, man, ramble away. Put yourself over, man.
That's all right.
I have Kenny from the Call Up saying Taco Tuesday, so apparently he's on the same page as you.
Hey, I'm a big fan of his show.
Yeah, both of you guys put on some good work, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on. It's just us wrestling podcasts got to stick together and help each other out the best we can. And I appreciate you coming on, man, and I appreciate what you do. I was there for that last show with I was in the chat, so you probably saw
with
me.
Savannah. That was a fun show. It just always seems to be technical difficulties on somebody's end, and it makes me mental.
It's a life of a podcaster, man. That's one thing that I first learned. So be it from Kenny. Actually, he told me technical difficulties happen. Right, he's got to roll with it. But all right, so let's go ahead and get started on topics and questions that we have more or less curated before the beginning of the show. First question I have for you, and I don't have a bell or anything to get shit started, but we're just going to go ahead.
Oh, not like my show, man. I usually try to kick it off with a bell.
You got the bell, you got the intro. Yeah, man, I don't have any of that. I just go off of whatever I got. So, first question of the night. I got, is Monday Night Raw unsalvageable at this point? I'm going to have you go first.
No, I think they got, to be honest with you, if you're going to compare shows, I know Monday Night Raw is 3 hours, SmackDown is 2. Roman Reigns takes up 35% of that show. I'm going to go with Monday Night Raw is still the better show overall, in my opinion. I like what they're doing right now with the title, with the main, with the WWE Championship. I'm a big fan of putting a lot of people in the mix for the title, man. I don't really like seeing just one guy face one guy, one after another. When you throw other people in the mix, to me, it feels it feels a lot more special. More people going after the title. It's like making that title a little bit more coveted. You know what I mean? I like what they're doing with the title picture. I'm not sure if I like what they're doing with the rest of the show, but I mean, you gotta start somewhere. To me, I think RK Bro is extremely entertaining. I'm a big Matt Riddle and Randy Orton fan, so I think they're at least trying to make the tag team title a little bit more entertaining than it's been in years past. You know, on SmackDown, you got the Usos, which, like Roman Reigns, personally, I think they suck in the ring. I don't like the Usos. I never have. I've never been a big fan of the Usos.
That's a hot take, brother.
I don't think they should have the titles. I think they suck. I think they're shitty on the mic, and they're not really great in the ring. I mean, there's way better tag teams, in my personal opinion. That's just my opinion.
That's perfectly fine. See, the show's called "In My Opinion," man.
Hey,
you can say
perfect.
whatever you want.
I like that. I like that. In my opinion, I don't get to even on my own show. I don't even feel like I get to. I'll take little digs here and there. Like I'll throw in Pat McAfee sucks once in a while, just because Pat McAfee to me is, yeah.
I'll tell you what, man.
Now we're just going off on a tangent. I'm going to just start saying everything that who I think sucks.
I asked you, is Monday Night Raw unsalvageable?
I'm going to say no, it is not. It is salvageable.
Okay, so here's my opinion on the whole thing. My opinion is that I think it's pretty much set in its ways. Like you said, I do agree that at least they're changing it up with the belt, but it's so few and far between. And that's the only thing they ever focus on when it comes to, you know, their storylines that is somewhat good. I'm not saying it's like the greatest, but it's somewhat good in that sense. The whole show by itself, I just think is unsalvageable at this point because we already know who the target audience is, and that's what they're basing their show off of. That's evident with the fucking 24/7 championship shit that they keep doing. I mean, come on, man. Like, I don't know how you look at that and say, yeah, that's some good TV right there. Like, no, it doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't look like that with me. And yeah, I think you're the first person I've heard, at least this week, to say that they like what's going on with the belt so far. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but I don't necessarily like it. You know what I mean? It just seems kind of random.
What don't you like about it?
Well, for starters, Seth Rollins, I guess you would say more or less earned his way to that number one contendership. Right. And then you have Kevin Owens who just showed up and said, hey, I want to go after that. So they put him in the match. But then all of a sudden, Bobby Lashley wants to come in and wants to be part of that match. But out of everyone that had a chance, he's the only one that had to go through a fucking gauntlet just to fucking get a chance for the title, which I think is weird. On top of that, he had to face the champion himself, pin him, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Why would you have the champion if he's supposed to be your sacred? You're supposed to protect him. Could you imagine if they had a UFC fight where the champion had to face somebody, and that person he was facing had to knock him out in order to have a title match? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
But you're talking about two totally different things, man. That's like
I understand.
Here we go. In my opinion, we'll say that a lot during this episode. Big E is not strong enough to carry the title on his own. I think they have to build him up. They got to build him up. And back in the day, they used to do the same thing. He's not going to lose the belt at day one. I'm calling it right now. He doesn't lose the belt. He's going to go through hell. He's going to get the shit kicked out of him. He's going to face 3 other guys. It's going to be a fatal 4-way. He's going to come up as winning. That's how you build him up. So now you're going to build him up as like, hey, this dude's legit. He's a legit champ. I don't, in my opinion, I don't know if I don't buy him as the WWE champ. I just don't. I still see him as the goofy New Day gyrating over people. I don't buy him as a legit champ.
Listen, that's where we're on the same page, man.
He doesn't speak champ to me. Personally, if you want to know who I want to go over at day one, two people. Kevin Owens, I would love to see him go over. He's not. He's leaving WWE. I really feel this is it. They're giving him one last shot. I know you're saying it doesn't make sense, but in a way it does kind of make sense because I think he's getting in the title mix, gives him a little more boost, a little more value when he's out, when he leaves WWE. Not that he needs any more value because he's Kevin Owens. I've been a huge Kevin Owens fan forever. I think the dude's legit. He's great on the mic, great in the ring. He puts his body on the line. I mean, he does it all. So Kevin Owens is getting one last hurrah. A dream would be to see him win the title, but he's not going to. Who I want to go over is Seth Rollins. I want him to go over. I think, unlike Roman Reigns, I think Seth Rollins comes off as a legit heel on his own. Roman Reigns needs Paul Heyman. He can't do it on his own. We know how Roman is on his own. He sucks. So it's like he needs Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman has made Roman Reigns what he is. You know what I mean? He's given everything to that character development is all due to Paul Heyman. Roman Reigns on his own was a good guy, and people booed the shit out of him. They hated him. He's still not good on the mic. He's okay, but he's still more of a legit champ than Big E, obviously, because they ran with him for over a year now. But I think, to me, Seth Rollins comes off as the perfect heel champ. He's your old school heel champ. You just want to hate him. But he's great on the mic, he's entertaining, and he's great in the ring.
That took me for a loop, man. Because I really thought you were going to say Bobby Lashley is next champion.
I mean, he already had his run this year, and I don't see them putting the belt back on him that quick. Unless you cause some interference with the Hurt business and this and that. But you got 4 people in the match. So I don't think anybody interfering, it doesn't make sense. To me, it doesn't make sense. But WWE doesn't always make sense. So
lately they haven't at all. I mean, look what they did with Finn Balor not too long ago.
There's just another guy who I think should be in the mix. Personally, I think he should be in the mix and not Big E, but Big E's the champ. Big E to me is not a legit. He's not a legit champ. I think this is the way for them to legitimize him in the eyes of the fans.
So a few things I want to take away from what you said. One is the Big E New Day shit, which I completely agree with. I'm going to agree with you on that because I 100% agree that the New Day shit was the downfall for Kofi Kingston's reign.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean, there's only so much you can do when your WWE champion isn't doing nothing but tag team matches during his reign. There's a problem. Not that he's around the New Day constantly, but there's still that remnants.
They're still linked.
Yeah, they're still linked, like no matter what. And I don't know. I feel like they just wanted to put the title on him just to get that ratings pop at that time. And then that was it. They had no other future plans outside of that. You know what I'm saying? That Monday Night Raw where he won, that was it. And so there's that. And then another thing that you said was, Seth Rollins winning. I mean, I've seen Seth Rollins be champion a million fucking times. Like, I don't know who else could really.
Come on. He hasn't won the belt, maybe 4 times? 3 times, 4 times? He hasn't won it that much. So, to give him another title run, it doesn't have to be a long one. I think that's the mistake that WWE is making. And I feel like AEW could be making the same mistake. I don't think people should get long runs. 2 pay-per-views, I know AEW does a little different. They do a quarterly versus a monthly. But to me, man, the reason why the Attitude Era is one of the best eras is because you had the belt changing hands between Stone Cold, The Undertaker, The Rock, throw Mankind in the mix, Triple H, Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle. The list goes on and on and on. These guys were always all in the title mix. So if you're going to create other stars, future stars, you have to start throwing other people in the mix. You know what I mean? And get that rub off of guys. You know what I mean? Seth Rollins having a run for a month or two doesn't really hurt him if you take the belt off of him. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And I got a really great opinion on AEW with Hangman and Bryan Danielson, but maybe we'll get there in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get there in a minute. Because I still think we're on the question. I mean, you said no. I say, yeah, I think it's unsalvageable at this point. I just don't know what they can do to fix it. The booking is terrible. The storylines are terrible. SmackDown ain't even better, honestly. The only thing that's making it salvageable is Roman Reigns, and even that's getting played out at this point.
You got to admit, though, the Sami Zayn Brock Lesnar thing is kind of funny. I mean, I was kind of digging that. Like, Lesnar is showing his depth. You know, people always kind of thinking Lesnar just kills people and that's it. But, like, think back to, like, remember Money in the Bank? Lesnar dancing. Like, he's got depth to his character. It's fucking entertaining. I mean, and the thing with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, I've never been a big fan of. I've always thought he was annoying. I really loved the feud between him and KO. I thought that was great. But personally, outside of that, I've never really been a big fan. But this shit is funny as hell. It's with him and Lesnar and Reigns. I mean, I don't know where they're going with it because it's hard to predict. I mean, I think we can kind of predict, you know, Roman Reigns is probably going to win again at day one. But anyways, going back to Raw, I mean, it's Monday Night Raw, man. It's the flagship show. You know, I think it's not unsalvageable.
Okay.
We'll see where it goes. We'll see what happens after day one. Maybe they'll shock everybody and KO wins and he ends up staying. I mean, who knows? Vince McMahon could get his head out of his ass and do something right.
He's doing something with Austin Theory. He's really focused on that, man.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah, me neither. It's a little weird. I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do with that later down the line. It's kind of creeping me out, though. I'm not going to lie.
It's a little odd. It's a really odd storyline that they got going on here, and I don't get it. Maybe he'll be like Vince McMahon's illegitimate son or something. I mean, get something stupid, crazy storylines that they used to do back in the day.
It all started with an egg, and
there you go.
I don't know.
I don't know what this egg is, but it's from that movie, Red Notice, the Rock's movie.
Yeah, it all started from there. He stole it.
It makes no sense.
Gave it back, and now he's like his son.
Yeah.
He's like, you're a much better son than Shane at this point, man.
Yeah.
But
speaking of, it sounds like the McMahons might be something going on with them where they're having a fall. Shane's having a falling out again. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of drama with the McMahons.
There's always when the shit hits the fan with them. You know, I think they're on the urge of selling at this point, and that's what I talked about last week.
Nope, not gonna happen.
Okay,
never gonna happen.
They're not selling?
No.
Nick Khan's not gonna sell it?
No. Nick Khan, he's not the owner.
Oh no, but he basically is the president.
That doesn't mean shit. Nothing happens without the old man say so. And you think he's ready to give up a legacy that he's built from his father? And he's not. He's gonna die. Maybe when he's dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If he dies, then it'll probably the McMahons probably won't be running it anymore.
Then we're going to Disney.
There you go.
See?
It'll be on Disney Plus instead of Peacock, which is a fucking atrocious streaming service.
Yeah, well, luckily for me, I don't have it.
Well, you would hate it. The WWE Network was amazing. I love that shit.
I agree with that. And once I got rid of it, I said to myself, "Ain't no way I'm going to get the cock." You know what I mean?
For $1 billion, you'd sell too.
Yeah. What they get $9 billion out of that? It was something fucking insane.
Yeah, for all that money, they should make the stupid app work.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't even search like, oh my god.
You know what's crazy about that though? They get this revenue from that, but majority of the revenue that they get is from people who basically watch The Office. Like they strictly got it for The Office. Kenny says, "Yep, I missed the network. I miss it too, man. It was easy.
WWE Network was amazing, man. I would watch that shit like all the time. I don't ever watch anything on Peacock except for the pay-per-view once a month.
Yep. And even that got janky. I heard there was like no pausing power, no
Oh yeah,
rewind.
no, it's stupid. So if you were watching it on WWE Network when they had it on there, you could catch that shit anytime while it was on, while it was live, and then you could hit start over, you could pause it, you could rewind it, you could forward it. You can't do shit with this. You got to watch it while it's live. Otherwise, you got to wait till it's done
Yeah,
and then wait till they replay it, and then you can mess around with it. Like
that's what I heard.
it's ridiculous. I could go on. I think I went on like 10 minutes talking about this one time on one of our episodes. I think Alex was like, all right, we're ready to move on now. He's like, I get it. You hate Peacock.
Yeah, all things Peacock.
Right. That's basically all things Peacock.
All right. So let's get away from the WWE now and let's go back into our minds and reminisce on the good old days, right? And one of the questions that I have is, in terms of controversial storylines from back in the day, or it can even be now if you want it, which one would you think is the worst in your opinion?
Controversial. That's a tough one. Do you mean controversial like real life type of controversial, or
It could, I mean, it's an open-ended question. Yeah, you could be whatever you want, honestly. Real life, kayfabe. I'll go. Like, for one, for me, was the Randy Orton Rey Mysterio feud when he went up to Ray and he said, Eddie's not up there, he's down there in hell, shit like that. Like, that was pretty controversial, and I was a kid at that time, so it was like, God, you motherfucker! Like, there was no need for that. He just died. It was fresh off of his death.
Yeah. I would say the Muhammad Hassan character.
Muhammad Hassan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They basically made like a guy who was a terrorist sympathizer a character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? Like, so this is a problem I have with entertainment sometimes, whether it be music, movies. Well, movies is different, but like music, any type of rock star or this and that. When they start talking politics, I tune out.
There you go.
I watch television shows, movies. I listen to music to escape.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want real life mixed in my entertainment. I just don't. And when WWE did the whole Muhammad Hassan character, I think back in 2004, I mean, we were in the mix of two wars, basically.
Yeah.
And I just don't get it. Like, you want to bring out this guy and get, like, just extreme heat. But, people are fanatics. I mean, this guy could have legit got hurt. Somebody could have tried to kill this guy. I'm sure this guy got death threats. I mean, this was really before the internet took off. But, like, stuff like that, I just don't get. I don't understand. So to me, that's a controversial storyline that I don't understand why they ran with. But it didn't run very long.
No, that dude ended up getting fired for some shit, and I don't think it was his character, but I think it was. I think he took it too far one night, and they fired him the next day, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I agree with you. It was just like to get like that cheap USA chant, USA pop, and stuff like that. It wasn't. I gotta say though, when I was a little kid, I was about 11 when that dude came out at WrestleMania 21, and he started talking some shit towards Eugene. I don't know if you remember that, and his little assistant was talking some shit to him, and I don't know what language that was, Arabic, something like that, and then Hulk Hogan comes out. Hulk Hogan comes out and just fucking beats the shit out of him.
Right.
And this is obviously before the whole controversy between Hulk Hogan, but he was like the American hero, and it was just like a fucking sweet moment at that time. So there's one thing that character got, that's marquee to his career, and that's getting the shit kicked out of him by Hulk Hogan. But that's about it. Everything
Right.
else was just stupid, like straight stupid.
Speaking of Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart came out and basically said Hulk Hogan can't wrestle. So that was some news that came out.
Well, shit, man. I feel like I've been saying that for quite some time. I don't know about you. Are you a Hulk Hogan guy? Are you?
I am. You got to see the age difference, man. So you said you were 11 in what year?
I believe that 21 came out in 2005
Okay, so
or
I was born.
2004.
I'm
Sorry.
41. I'm 41, so I grew up on Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And I'll tell you why Hulk Hogan is not a shitty wrestler. The greatest match, in my opinion, as your show is, in my opinion, was Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania 18. That is, I sat fifth row at the Sky Dome in Toronto and watched that match in person. Not only was that match great in person, when you go, I can watch that match over. I probably watch that match maybe every couple months because the ring, with wrestling, your skills in the ring, there's so much that's involved. There's ring psychology, there's working of the fans. Go back and watch that match. That match, to me, is the greatest match ever. It is. And Bret Hart can talk all the shit that he wants, but the way I look at wrestlers, and I've been hearing more and more about this lately, who's your Mount Rushmore of pro wrestlers? They're asking the Undertaker and the Janitor and everybody else who their Mount Rushmore wrestlers is. If you take away certain people from wrestling, let's say they never existed, and it doesn't change the landscape of the business or entertainment or anything, if you take Bret Hart away, that makes a huge difference. If you take Hulk Hogan away, you don't have professional wrestling today. So Bret Hart, for him to say some shit about Hogan, to me, just seems like Bret Hart's looking for some attention. I don't know what, but for him to say that Hogan doesn't know a headlock from his ass, basically, I think that's what he said.
The headlock from a headlamp.
Yeah, some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, come on, Bret. I mean, if there was no Hulk Hogan, there would be no Bret Hart. So, anyways, that's my rant on that. You can't, Hulk Hogan's the man. No one will ever be Hogan, ever.
I think in just your, I want to call it rambling because that's disrespectful, but
It might be a little rambling.
I think you just single-handedly possibly changed my mind about my views with Hulk Hogan because I never even thought about it that way, like ever. Like the fact that he might have changed the landscape forever for wrestlers and wrestling. And I have to go back and check out. I've seen it maybe twice, WrestleMania 18. I need to see that match again.
In the history of any big matches ever, nowhere has the crowd basically just turned. The Rock goes in. Everybody loved the NWO. And forget about WWE really just totally ruining the NWO with how they handled everything. But the lead up to that match and then that match, and basically, like, I don't know if you've ever caught any excerpts from an interview or anything like that. So before they went out for that match, Hogan and The Rock actually talked to his dad, who was backstage at the show. And The Rock admitted, he's like, he was nervous. Like, all this, like, I mean, The Rock was huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for him to face Hogan, it's like, you're facing your childhood hero, right?
Right.
And he didn't know how that match was going to go. He didn't know how the crowd was going to perceive him, how they were going to perceive Hogan. And for them, the crowd to just flip in that match, you see it. You see it on The Rock's face. He becomes the heel. And you see it in his eyes. You can see where everything just changed. And it's like, that's because of Hogan. The Rock's dad gave The Rock some advice. He said, no matter what, just let Terry run the match. Do what Terry says. Follow his lead. And to me, like I said, go back and watch that match. It is hands down, to this day, always will be, the greatest match ever. Not only in WrestleMania history, but just wrestling, period. It's an amazing match.
I have to check it out.
You'll have to check it out, man.
To say,
you're going to have to get the Peacock. You're going to have to get
I
it.
had to get I had to get the cock.
Yep. Sorry.
Kenny says Cena. So, with that being said, what are your thoughts on Cena?
I'm a John Cena fan. I personally don't like him holding the number of titles and saying that, he go, to try to beat Ric Flair and this and that. Personally, and I just read an article talking about Orton, and I think we might even talked about this when you came on the show. Maybe. I can't remember. But Randy Orton, in my opinion, is the Sting of WWE. He hasn't gone anywhere, hasn't gone Hollywood. He's had injuries over the years. I think he's got 13 or 14 titles. He definitely deserves to have he deserved to be the all-time winningest WWE champ. The dude is like, he hasn't lost a step in the ring. He's always been pretty solid on the mic. And you love him whether he's a good guy or he's a bad guy. He can run either way. And personally, I don't think John Cena should hold that. Especially, I mean, when guys start becoming part-timers and they show up once in a while and it's entertaining for a minute, but then to put him in a title picture like he did with Roman Reigns, it's like, come on. It's like, I don't know. I like Cena. I think he was great while he was there. I don't think he should ever show up again. I think he should be retired personally. But I think Randy Orton should be the guy. When you think of WWE now, and say over the last 10 years, 15 years, whatever, obviously Cena's got the most titles, but I think Randy Orton is the guy that's like, he's like the Sting of WWE.
What else do you do with a name like John Cena, though? Like, you got to have him in the title picture.
But why?
I mean, why not?
But that's like people saying, well, The Rock, they're trying to pump up this thing. The Rock's going to show up. He's going to face Roman Reigns, get a title shot. Why? Why the hell should The Rock come in and get a title shot? He hasn't done shit in how many years?
But that's how they've been doing it.
He hasn't wrestled any of these guys that are in the title mix.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying with Randy. Like, Randy Orton is always there every week doing his thing. Whereas, like, John Cena, he's a part-timer. He's essentially retired with just a part-time gig. Like, let's be honest.
Right.
So, if John Cena were to come back again, if you don't want him in the title picture, where do you want him going?
I lost you.
Hello?
Oh, I lost you for a second, but then you came back. Yep.
If you lose John Cena, if you have John Cena come back, where do you place him? I mean, where would you want him to go?
Put him in the 24/7 title mix.
Oh,
why not?
Fuck!
Make it entertaining.
You did not just say the 24/7 title for
Bring
John
back
Cena.
the hardcore title, man. That's basically what the 24/7 title is.
That's what it is, minus the cool part.
Right? Yeah.
So, anyways, we were going on about controversial storylines.
Right, and then we got on Hulk Hogan, and I convinced you that Hogan might be the greatest ever.
Yeah.
He's like, the jury's still not out on that one.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence, but I gotta watch. I gotta watch that match to really feel what you're feeling about him. But the another controversial storyline, which I think not only was it was controversial kayfabe, but it was controversial in real life, was probably the whole Lita, Edge, and Matt Hardy thing. Considering that was a real life thing between that they had together.
Was it though?
I think it was.
I don't remember it being real. They made it seem very real. So tell me why it was controversial.
I think it's just because everybody thought at the time like Lita was such a whore.
Right.
And then all she was called was a whore for sleeping around. Because I don't think that was a work. I think legitimately that she went.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers. I don't have anything with me right now, or else I cheers with you.
Oh, that is so good. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, you're all good. But I don't know. I just thought maybe it was one of those things where they mixed in real life situations and put in with a storyline, which has been done before. But this one in particular was very real, as to the point where, you know, Matt Hardy had a legitimate relationship with Lita, and Lita slept around with Edge, and then they were just like, yeah, fuck it, let's do this for real. Yeah.
I mean, they agreed to it, so where's the controversy, I guess? Were they not happy with it behind the scenes? I
don't know.
That's kind of where I'm like, you're saying it's controversial. It's playing on real life stuff happening behind the scenes, but I mean, they rolled with it.
At least they're okay with it. But I don't know if they were or not, which is kind of what I guess it would be where the controversy would be at for us fans, is like, is that all Vince is doing? Like, to me,
you
that
got
would
to pretty much do what Vince says, right?
Right, and to me, that would be very uncomfortable.
Well, I'm sure he makes a lot of people uncomfortable.
Yeah, but
Austin Theory being one of them.
Right, exactly. What's it with the pencil, man? But I don't know. It's like that's one of them that I think of a lot as far as controversial. Maybe not so much controversial, but just like taboo storylines.
Right.
What was another one? I can't think of another. Oh, not really a controversial storyline, but a controversial character. I guess we can go off of that too.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Eugene character?
Eugene Character? I think that's awful. I'm convinced, is the guy really mentally handicapped in real life? I guess that's where I'm like, that's where they convinced me. I mean, I don't know. That's definitely a storyline I never agreed with. You know, he's wrestling in OVW.
Oh, the real life Eugene.
Yeah, no, he's still, I think, rocking the look and everything.
Yeah, I think he's got to be careful though, because how the cancel culture is nowadays. They go after that real quick. But
I mean, sorry, Al Snow, but I mean, I don't think anybody's watching OVW. So
nope, unless you live in
Ohio,
Kentucky. Yeah. Yep, that's the only way. But yeah, we can transition over to like, see, I feel like that would be a controversial character.
That's extremely controversial and not anything I ever agreed with. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
You're playing on a guy, saying a guy's handicapped. He's mentally handicapped. Like, that's stupid.
I gotta admit, man, when I was younger, I popped for him all the time.
Really?
He was cool with me.
There you go.
I didn't really think of it as, oh, he's handicapped, mentally handicapped. I just thought of it as like, I don't know, just some funny guy that pretended to pee on people in the middle of a match. But I mean, I don't know, man. That's just the way I felt about it. But it's like, you had that. You mentioned earlier. You said it was more or less a storyline, but the Muhammad or whatever. Muhammad Hassan.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that would be a controversial character in your eyes that you thought, like, man, they should have fucking scrapped this guy a long time ago? Why is he still a fucking character?
As far as controversial, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Or are you just talking about shitty characters?
Just shitty characters. Let's just go. Yeah, let's go. Take away the controversial.
The Red Rooster.
The Red Rooster.
Doink the Clown? I mean, shit, the list goes on and on. I mean, how many shitty characters can you think? I can think of quite a few.
See, I would think of somebody like Big Daddy V.
I don't even know who that is. I don't remember that person.
Do you remember Viscera?
Yeah, Viscera, yeah.
Okay, that was Big Daddy V.
Oh, okay.
They for some reason they had this thing back in WWE where they were just like, okay, let's take the biggest black guy and make him like a guy that just wants to have sex with everybody. They did it with Mark Henry. And
Wow,
they did
really?
it. Yeah, they
I
did it with
remember this. Well,
they
Val,
did
what
it.
about Val Venus?
Val Venus.
I mean, he was
He's
basically a
not.
porn star,
He was basically a porn star. Yeah,
right? Okay.
but think of Val Venus and make him black, but like and he's 500 pounds.
Your Midwest accent's really coming out.
Oh, the black.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes my Detroit accent might show its face once in a while, but I heard that. That was hard A.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, Chicago.
The Chicago, you're not from Chicago.
But yeah, Big Daddy V, he had this like storyline with wanting to fuck Lillian Garcia
Oh my
for
goodness.
the longest time. And one of his finishing moves, or he had a finishing move, but
Just a big splash, wasn't it?
it was a big splash, and then after he splashed the guy, he would air hump them.
Oh my God. That's gotta be pleasant for the guy underneath them.
Yeah, do you remember that?
I don't. I remember the big splash, but the big V character, I don't have any recollection of that guy.
Big Daddy V was.
How long did that run?
Dude, I gotta say, like maybe a year,
Wow.
if that. And then
I mean, I'm getting a little old, man, so I don't always remember shit.
And then he fell off the face of the earth and probably got fired, and then he died. So
wow. Well, speaking of falling off the face of the earth, I just saw that D'Lo Brown's going to be appearing somewhere. Do you remember D'Lo Brown?
Yeah, I remember D'Lo Brown.
I was like, where's this guy been? Where they kicked the rock and they found D'Lo Brown underneath it?
He actually was. He's been commentating.
Commentating where?
He was commentating. He commentated on Bound for Glory.
Did he?
For Impact.
I don't remember.
Yeah, he's been around, he's also he's been around. Yeah.
He was one of the worst. And
you didn't like him?
No, I hated him.
You didn't like him when he came out and he did with that.
He did the whole. What did he? He did like this whole. I don't even know what he did. He did his whole like crazy, like he had. I don't know.
That shit always makes me laugh when I see it. He just comes out and he's fucking whipping his head. I'm afraid he's gonna like get whiplash from bouncing his head back and forth. Yeah,
he was I don't know. I was just never. I mean, a lot of those Nation of Domination guys, because he was in the Nation. I guess maybe that's a controversial storyline. The Nation of Domination. I mean, were they controversial? Maybe I'm just not remembering properly.
I don't think I'm remembering properly either. I don't know if they were. I don't think so. I think they were pretty.
Weren't they like hardcore Muslim or something?
I don't fucking know.
I thought they were.
Isn't The Rock in there?
He was.
The Rock was in there.
But okay, maybe they were more like the wrestling version of the Black Panthers. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's what
they
it
were,
was.
Right?
Yeah, because they had the fist up, and not
I'm
so
having
recently.
Fun, man.
No, yeah, this is fun. Not so recently, I think it wasn't they don't want to play it off like it was, but they did the fist in the air for like Ring of Honor. I don't know if you remember that in Final Battle. They did the same thing. But fuck. But yeah, like I don't know about the Nation of Domination. I don't know if that was controversial or not.
Yeah, something might be. We were just talking about guys that kicked over a rock like D'Lo. Where are they now? Remember when they did that on VH1? Where are they now? Yeah, they should do that on some wrestlers. We just talked about a couple of guys. Eugene, who I was shocked when I saw that he's in OVW. D'Lo Brown appears out of nowhere. I mean, I'm waiting to see. I just saw a story that the Sandman is sober, which is insane.
That's awesome.
Guy's drinking a 12-pack on the way to the ring. I mean, he's hammered by the time he hits the ropes.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, he's got 15 minutes before he gets to the ring, so I hope.
Right? Enter the Sandman. That's a long-ass song.
Yeah.
That's like a 9-minute song?
Yes.
And you know what? Here's another reason why Peacock sucks. If you watch ECW One Night Stand, they're not playing Metallica Enter the Sandman. They're playing like some bullshit rock music that some guy's playing in his garage.
It's the most generic shit you'll ever hear in your life.
I mean, you're telling me Vince McMahon couldn't ask Metallica, hey, can we play Enter the Sandman when the Sandman's coming out? I'm sure they would have been cool with it.
We're talking about a company who fires people off of budget cuts. I don't think
Right?
they're gonna. Hey, John from Coming Down the Aisle says, "What's up?
Hey,
up,
what's going on, John?
We were just talking about like controversial characters / storylines and what, in our
Why
opinion,
Peacock sucks
and why Peacock sucks. So
and Pat McAfee sucks.
if you got any grievances, say it in the comments.
Hey, it's Festivus season. You got to have grievances, right?
Right. It's just, I mean, yeah. I mean, what's like the end goal with this Peacock shit? Like they got to know it's bad at this point.
They do. They got to know it's bad.
They got to know it's bad. They got to fix these bugs. They need to. Well, I mean, what's the deal? Is the WWE Network still a thing, or did they completely close it?
It's in Europe. Yeah, it's not like gone. It's just gone from the United States, which is it's garbage. You know.
Katie Vick. Do you remember Katie Vick?
Katie Vick. No, was she related to Michael Vick?
Oh, Katie Vick.
You need a drink, man. This is. I should do my show at this time on Sunday.
I feel like you should too, man. Hold on. Let me get you a drink and I'll come right back. We'll be right back after these messages.
Word from our sponsor.
Word from our sponsors. Triple H Roofies is okay. Hold on. We'll go after that. Hold on 1 second.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep the show going while he's grabbing a drink. So, controversial characters. I can't really think of any other ones. Talked about Eugene. They played on his mental handicap, which I thought was just awful. Muhammad Hassan was a terrorist sympathizer. Oh, I'm just talking to the audience, man.
I got a Mickey.
Oh, you got a Mickey? No way. A Mickey's 40? Or oh no.
A Mickey Ultra.
Oh, no. Come on. You can't call that a Mickey. A Michelob Ultra?
All right, now we're gonna have some fun.
My son drinks harder stuff than that.
Oh well, I'm sorry. It's the only thing I got in my fridge right now.
No, you gotta go. You gotta hit up Total. You guys got Total Wine in Chicago? Bevmo?
No, we got Binny's.
Let's go to the liquor store, corner liquor store. What side of Chicago you live on?
The South Side.
The South Side. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You got some street cred now.
Yeah.
Plus, you're wearing a U of M Wolverines hat, so you're good in our book. You're a friend of the ATW Podcast for Life show.
That's fucking awesome. For life or just for life?
For life and for life.
Cool.
Like the way our name is spelled out. Alex is always rocking the U of M shit.
Well, yeah, he's from Detroit. I expect
Well,
that.
I am too, but I don't have any U of M stuff.
Well, get some U and M shit, man. They got fanatics there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of actually Michiganders here in Arizona. A lot of people from Chicago too. I think everyone from the Midwest came to Arizona.
Yeah, they call them snowbirds.
If you're from the East Coast, you go to Florida to die.
I think Kenny's in the chat still. He probably liked hearing that.
Oh, where's Kenny from? Because I know Kenny rocks the U of M too, right?
He I don't know if he does or not. I thought
he did. Kenny, if you're on, man, comment. Are you rocking?
Yeah.
I thought I could have swore he was sharing some U of M stuff.
It's Lay. What's up, Lay? Hey, we were just talking about like controversial characters, and then we started drinking, and I started drinking now.
I'm almost done with my first drink. So.
Tony's already almost done.
I'm drinking. And
but,
no way
cheers,
are they
everyone.
a sponsor of the show, but maybe they should be. Hornitos, which this is a special añejo, which is aged in a whiskey barrel tequila.
Ooh.
Oh, black barrel. Excuse me. I was just corrected.
Oh, black barrel in the back.
In the back.
Katie Vick. Okay, so Katie Vick, I remember I went to go look it up just now. Katie Vick was one of those that storyline where I forgot who did it, but she was in a casket, and let me see. Katie Vick. So it was back in 2002, and There was an angle where
That just triggered a memory. So go ahead, you talk, and then I'll tell you the controversial storyline.
Oh shit! I wish they would like get to it.
Well, you mean she's such a nobody that Google can't tell you who she is?
Yeah. God damn. Oh, Kane, right? So Kane. Yeah, Kane was going in. Kane was going in a casket to have like sex with this.
What?
Yes.
I don't remember this.
Hold on.
Damn, I must have missed it. But hey, hold on. While you're talking about that era, Stone Cold Steve Austin being basically crucified on a burning cross, which was the Undertaker symbol, that got a ton of heat from Christian organizations, from that PTC, the some television council bullshit that tried to get WWE pulled off the air years ago. So Stone Cold getting crucified on that cross, that was controversial, but I dug it.
There's another one too that now that you said something, him getting Brian Pillman with a fucking gun.
Oh, Brian Pillman with the gun? Yeah. Brian Pillman. Man, Brian Pillman, he was great.
There it is. Triple H and Kane and necrophilia. That was
God.
it. He wanted to go fuck Katie Vick that was in the fucking casket dead.
What about Mae Young giving birth to a rubber hand?
What the fuck? When did this happen? Hey, what's going on, Jofo? When did this happen?
You got the phone in front of you. Google it.
I gotta Google this shit? I should know this shit.
Mae Young or Moolah. So, see, this is before your time, man. I know I got some years on you. So
that's the first thing that came up when I looked it up. It said Mae Young hand.
That's great.
Oh my fucking God. What is this shit?
So Mark Henry supposedly got her pregnant.
Bro.
Yeah, right? I watched this shit live on TV. I watched it live. This is the Attitude Era. It was crazy. You want to talk about Vince McMahon doing crazy stuff? The Attitude Era was full of insane things.
Oh my God.
She gave birth to a rubber hand.
It's all slimy and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Bro.
And I'll bet you money it's not on Peacock.
Are you kidding me?
I bet you money it's not on Peacock. You'll have to YouTube that shit.
It said Mae Young classic storylines. The whole Billy and Chuck storyline? Whole Billy and Chuck.
No. Controversial? I mean, they were supposed to be a gay tag team, but then they were kind of poking at it. So, yeah, I guess it could be controversial.
Oh, speaking of which, remember Rico?
Rico who?
He was just Rico. He tagged with Charlie Haas.
Just Rico. No, I remember Charlie Haas, but I don't remember Rico.
Well, let's just say like that guy would not fly in today's WWE.
No, I mean there's a lot of shit that wouldn't fly in today's WWE.
But he was like I think he was a straight guy playing a gay guy, and he was like secretly in love with Charlie, but he tag teamed with them, and they won. Like Rico was their manager. No, he was a tag team partner.
Who's telling you otherwise?
Lay. Rico was their manager.
Hey, you know what? I think he's right. I think Rico being a manager, I think that does sound familiar. I think he was he hooked up with Andrade?
No,
like recently. Like
here, let me show you.
You're going way back. I don't know.
Let me show you a picture of him. Maybe it'll ring a bell. Because he was tag team champions with Charlie Haas.
How about Mike? So this is gonna probably date you, right? Why does he look like a poor man Sting? What is that?
Because I don't know, man. The early 2000s were weird.
Early 2000s were weird when it came to wrestling.
That's
I
it.
don't remember that dude, but whatever. Do you remember? Okay, so you probably don't. Mike Awesome was the fat chick Thriller in WCW.
The what?
He was the fat chick Thriller.
The fat chick Thriller.
Oh, Mike Awesome was the man. God rest his soul. Shit. I think he's been gone for about 15 years. But Mike Awesome was fucking awesome. He was.
Yeah,
But
well,
WCW was so stupid. Vince Russo, he had to have been sent over from Vince McMahon to totally kill the company. That I'm convinced. No one's going to convince me otherwise. Vince Russo was sent to WCW to definitely kill the company. Vince Russo had this whole storyline with Mike Awesome where he was the fat chick thriller. Then they would bring these big women on the show, and it was ridiculous. So you want to talk about controversial storylines? WCW had some really controversial storylines.
he says any managed 3-minute warning. I do remember 3-minute.
I remember 3-minute warning. Yeah,
but I don't remember.
I don't remember
Rico.
what they looked like, but I remember the name.
So, and then he said, and that 70s guy.
70s guy. Mike Awesome was that 70s guy.
Okay.
Yeah, Vince Russo did some really stupid things in WCW.
And not for nothing, he did some stupid shit when he went to TNA.
Oh, I didn't see those. I wasn't watching TNA at that time. I saw TNA when it first started, and it was great. I was totally on board. AJ Styles, Jeff Jarrett came over. You know, they started it up with Dixie Carter, and it was great. And it just kind of lost some steam after a while. And then I guess that's when Vince Russo took over or joined up. Thank God I didn't see any of that.
He tried it. Yeah, Vince Russo, man. I don't know. I gotta and this might be a controversial take here, but I respect for what the shit that he's come up with because it made it really entertaining.
He took a lot of credit for shit that he didn't necessarily do, man.
But yeah, then you got then you got that shit, you know. Same thing with Jim Cornette. Like I respect him for his knowledge of wrestling and being a historian and shit like that. But goddamn, does he say some of the stupidest shit sometimes?
I don't agree with anything Jim Cornette says.
Really?
He's I don't know what happened to that guy. He was great. He's a great wrestling mind, but yeah, the shit, he's just like some angry old guy sitting in his room somewhere just mad because he's not contributing to anything anymore.
Apparently, when AEW started, they offered him a job.
Well, I'm glad he didn't take it.
And he said, "No, I'm not doing that shit. Fuck you." Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Rainmaker was Kato. Remember that shit show?
Nope.
I don't remember that
There's
either.
been a lot of shit shows, I guess. I don't remember that.
Lay is like a historian when it comes to shit that was stupid. Like every time I watch his podcast, he's always coming. You remember that shit?
I've been watching wrestling for almost 40 years, man.
Yeah.
One of my earliest memories. So I'm gonna go off here for a second. So WrestleMania 3, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. My dad actually took us over to one of his friend's house, and they watched it on closed circuit television, which predates pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
So it was on CCTV. I remember a bunch of kids were all sitting in front of this TV. And, in the 80s, the TVs were like just big and ridiculous, but then you had a small screen. So I don't know if you by any chance know about that, but
oh yeah,
there were these giant consoles, right? They had like record players in them. There was all kinds of stuff. So we're sitting in front of this TV, and then I think they had a couple other TVs going. So Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant. I mean, it's just something that's just embedded in my brain. So, I've been watching wrestling for a long time.
Yeah, well, how old are you again? You say 41?
Yeah, I'll be 42 next year.
Yeah, so you got a lot more mileage as far as wrestling goes than
I've seen a lot more bullshit. Yes. Can you hear my son in the background?
I can.
He's having a great time.
Yeah. What's his take on Hulk Hogan?
What's his take on Hulk Hogan? My son's not a big wrestling fan.
That's surprising. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he watches it. He really likes Bobby Lashley's theme song for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason.
He comes in and he starts talking about Bobby Lashley. I don't know. He really likes Bobby Lashley.
What's your take on, speaking of which, what's your take on fucking theme songs nowadays? Do you think they're kind of boring.
They're not as good as they used to be. They're not as good as they used to be. I think Jim Johnson, who was a guy that did a lot of songs for wrestlers back in the day in the Attitude Era into the 2000s.
Right.
That dude, he did some of the best theme songs ever, man. Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker. I mean, really everybody at that time, he was doing all their theme songs. So theme songs today, nowadays, they're not great.
It really sucks because like I think of like you said, Stone Cold. You know, you hear that glass shatter, and then immediately dun 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 dun. You immediately know who that is,
right?
Like right away.
Is it me? Okay, so tell me. Hold on, just tell me this because you've been to a lot of wrestling shows. Man, I'm so jealous. All the damn wrestling you go to. Ugh, I wish I could go to those shows. I wish shit came here to Northern Arizona, but not since COVID. Because I think WWE actually used to go to Presque Valley a lot, but they haven't come here in quite a while. What kind of pop do the fans do when a theme song hits? It don't seem like on television. It doesn't come off like the crowd's really popping like they used to. Back in the day when a theme song hit, crowd would go nuts. Is it like that nowadays in person? Is the TV not capturing that as much?
Are you talking like big shows like AEW?
Anybody like AEW, WWE, like anything live in person. When someone's theme song hits like a big, whoever, is the crowd really just popping or not really?
I think
Seems
they're
like
really
they're not.
popping because there's moments where, like a few shows I've been to, where Darby Allin will come out, and as soon as you hear that guitar going,
right,
then everybody starts going, "Oh fuck, he's coming out!"
right.
You know, yeah. I mean, I don't know about like every time, but yeah, I don't know because I think people are more saving their energy for the actual match than just the theme song, if that makes sense.
Seems like wrestling fans in person just aren't what they used to be.
No, they're not. They're not to a certain extent. Like, I feel like the only time you'll get a huge pop or a theme song is if it's the first time you're hearing it and they're making their debut, like Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole,
CM
Punk, yeah,
but only in Chicago, right?
but only in Chicago. We're the best crowd in the world.
No.
There's my take. That's my opinion.
I'll tell you what. I've never been to a wrestling show in Chicago, but Detroit, Joe Louis, back in the day. Sorry, man. Chicago fans got nothing on fans in Detroit. When you went to a show, a WWE show at the Joe back in the day, I mean, you're talking about where the so many debuts in Detroit. Like Detroit is a huge wrestling town.
Mm-hmm.
Not taking away anything from Chicago, but the fans in Detroit, I mean, there's nothing like back in the day going to a show at the Joe Louis Arena.
I don't know if you've ever been to a Red Wings game, but if it's anything like that, like where I've been to, yeah. I assume they go fucking nuts.
Oh, they go nuts.
I don't know, but my take is obviously.
Can you hear
Chicago.
my dog drinking his water in the background?
I can hear it all, man.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's not as bad. Wait till he gets up to the mic.
Right. I'm gonna have the dog come over and say hi.
But
how's that Mickey Ultra?
The Mickey Ultra?
Does anybody call it that? Or is that what you guys in Chicago call it?
No, we don't call it that.
Okay,
I was just trying to.
Chicago's gonna go down a couple notches if they're calling Michelob Ultra Mickey Ultras.
Yeah, no. That's just something I came up with that was stupid.
Favorite Chicago pizza? Gun to your head. What? You're dead.
Tony and Nick's.
Tony and Nick's?
Or Tony and something. It's really good pizza though.
Oh, come on, man.
What? You about to
Not Giordano's or Gino's East?
Giordano's. That's some tourist shit.
No, it wasn't though. Years ago. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I was going to Chicago in the 80s as a kid and into the 90s. Giordano's was not a tourist.
But now it is. It is.
It might be now. They might have watered it down. You know who's the watered down is the Pizzeria Uno. That's the water. That's the McDonald's pizza of Chicago, right?
It's like Sparrows.
Oh,
Yeah. It's exactly it's watered down like that, man.
Geno's East. I've never been a big fan of.
Really?
I don't know about you, but I was more of a Giordano's guy back in the day.
I mean, I'll fuck with Giordano's every now and then, but it's few and far between. I like the hole in the wall type pizza places around here.
So you didn't think we'd be talking about pizza on the show?
No. It can be whatever I want. It don't have to be about wrestling. But
see, now we got, in your opinion, the best pizza, and you gave a place that you couldn't even remember the name of.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
So we're not plugging them, I guess.
No, I'm not sponsored, so fuck it.
There we go.
Maybe if they want to come up and sponsor, I'll do that. But
I'm gonna have to come to Chicago, man. You're gonna have to take me to this place that you can't remember the name of. So we're gonna have to go check it out.
Dude. You keep emphasizing the fact I can't remember. I'm gonna fucking remember.
It can't be that good.
It's good. Trust me. I'm gonna fucking remember, and I'm gonna I'm gonna send you a message. But hey, so listen, we've been going at this.
I'm just busting your chops, man.
I know. It's all love, man. It's all love. But we've been going at this for an hour now. I had fun, man. I appreciate you coming along, Tony. It's been fun. This is a good episode 2, and if you don't mind letting the people know where they can find you on social media,
absolutely,
go right ahead, man.
Well, hold on. Are we going to talk about Winter is Coming just for a minute, or are we at a cap?
No, let's go. Let's go.
Bryan Danielson's going over on Hangman Page. And I'll tell you why. We made a prediction on our show.
Mm-hmm.
So Bryan Danielson has been talking on and on and on lately about a faction. Okay?
Yeah.
He's talking about a faction. Getting together a faction. I think there's going to be some type of interference that cost Hangman Page the title. Danielson gets the win. Doesn't take anything away from Hangman if he loses and not a clean 1, 2, 3. I'm making the prediction now. You heard it here second because I called it first on our show. So, what are your thoughts? Hangman Page, Bryan Danielson, who's gonna get the win?
It's Hangman.
Oh, come on.
It's Hangman. I'm sorry. You can't just do that.
What if, and I'm just saying a big what if, Adam Scherr, who's now called the Titan. I had a dream scenario in my head. Adam Scherr shows up. He's now a Diesel type of character. Shawn Michaels, Diesel, Bryan Danielson, Adam Scherr, the Titan. The Titan causes interference, causes Hangman Page to lose. Him and Bryan Danielson start this faction. Who knows what it could be. But now Bryan Danielson's a champ. That sounds like a pretty cool-ass scenario. What do you think? Can't tell me no.
I've been on your show before where we discussed this, and I've gone on record to say that Bryan Danielson is that type of talent that I believe does not need an AEW championship.
Don't be shocked if he wins and I message you after the show. I'll be like, I told you so.
Well, you know what? We'll leave it with that, okay?
All right. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. To be continued.
To be continued.
To be continued. But winter is coming, and Bryan Danielson's going to be the champ.
Or like Wyndham is coming.
Right? I mean, where and when, who knows?
Yep.
All right. So anyways, yeah. I mean, you want to talk any more about winter? Winter is coming. I just saw you just had that show in Chicago, right? And
yeah.
Sorry, my son's trying to come over and see what's going on here. You want to?
That's all good.
Take a peek, buddy. Nope. You can see the top of his head a little bit. Say hello.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Greetings from Arizona. He's in Chicago. You know where Chicago is? He doesn't know where Chicago is. He's 6. It's all right.
That's okay.
It's a cool place. We'll take you there one day.
Yep. Good place to visit.
He's giving a thumbs up. Thumbs up. There we go. That was more of a what's the name? Orange Cassidy thumbs up. So anyways, the show that you were just at, I saw you took a picture with Thunder Rosa, who I love. She's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did you see at that show?
Dante Martin.
Dante Martin. I love this kid. He's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
Big,
he's
big
already
talent.
amazing.
I mean, he is amazing, but I mean, he's young. What is he, like 23, 22?
He is only 20.
He's only 20 years old?
Yep.
Oh, and what'd you think about Hook debut? I mean, we could go on this show, man.
So, yeah, we could. Honestly, Hook, fucking awesome. I don't know where they've been hiding this kid for so long, but they need to put him more on more shows because he's definitely his father's son.
But you hate his face, though, right? Like, he makes you want to hate him?
No.
No? Oh,
No.
I don't know. He looks like a natural-born heel to me.
Yes, but I don't hate him.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just saying he's got a face that you're like.
Oh, yeah. No.
He's got a great heel face.
He's got that snarky little, like, I'm better than you and I know it type face. Yeah.
You dropping an MJF line over here.
Yeah.
Speaking of, all right, we're going to jump ship real quick. MJF, the Long Island show, Wednesday. What'd you think?
I thought it was good. I like how he was, like, trying to play off the whole CM Punk, I'm coming home type thing.
Right.
Yeah, that was well done. To be honest with you, man, like past that, I didn't really watch it.
No,
I was kind of too busy with some other stuff.
Well, CM Punk and MJF, I want to see this go like forever. I could watch this. I mean, these guys. Personally, I think MJF, and I know you may not like this being a Chicago guy, I think MJF has made some work of CM Punk on the mic.
I would say they're pretty much equal on the mic because they haven't really said anything, at least in my opinion, just from the clips I've seen and the last Wednesday Dynamite that they had where they actually went off on each other.
Yeah.
Nothing really profound. It was just a bunch of name calling, name dropping. Well, you're just a less famous Miz. I feel like I've said that. I feel like I've said that before.
Speaking of the Miz, he's going into WWE Hall of Fame.
Is that legit, or am I?
I don't know. I wanted to talk to you about this on the show because you were talking about topics,
right?
And I wanted to talk to you about this. The Miz going into the Hall of Fame. That's not serious, is it?
I don't know, man.
I haven't checked it. And I missed it if they talked about it on Raw. But if he's going into the Hall of Fame, that's a joke.
It's got to be a joke. There's got to be a joke. Because he announced it on Miz TV.
Right.
And then I think Maurice did like some fake crying shit where she's like, oh, I'm so proud. Oh, you know, that heel shit that they do. And then Edge comes out.
Am I the only one that wants to see Edge go away and stay away forever?
I would love to see Edge go away for a little bit, but honestly, I don't see who else they have to cover that whole show.
Right.
It's Raw. Remember the show I said?
That's Raw. Let's make Raw 2 hours. Can we make Raw 2 hours? Can we start that petition? Was that government.org? Like you start a petition. And
yeah.
If it gets so many signatures, then it becomes like a real thing.
Yeah, because they do nothing with that extra hour.
Right.
So, yes, I'm 100% on board
2 hour show.
With a 2 hour Raw show.
Right.
Because
it doesn't ruin it because you don't have Roman Reigns taking up 30 minutes of a 2 hour show.
See, and this is where me and you get along because I completely agree that you shouldn't have him come out at the beginning of the show and at the end of the show. It's so
and somewhere in the middle, they're talking to him in the locker room, right?
Yeah. It's like, damn, man, make some room for the younger talent or the talent that you barely use to come on the show. Like, how hard is that?
He gets 30 minutes of a 2 hour show, but it's an hour and 41-minute show because you have to take away commercials. So
yeah,
he gets that much of this show, which is insane.
It truly is, man. Oh my God. I didn't even thought about adding the commercials.
Yes. Take away the commercials.
Yeah. It's an hour and 41 minutes. Yeah.
And he's getting 30 of it.
He's Get the fuck out of here, man.
I
That's
mean,
insane.
it takes 8 minutes to get to the ring. So,
Well, what was it like the other week when Brock Lesnar comes out and it was like a whole hour promo of him just talking to Sami Zayn and shit like that. It was like, oh god, this is dragging on forever, man.
I think your question should have been to start off the show is SmackDown unsalvageable.
Do you think SmackDown is getting bad? Because I remember that used to be the show of the fucking week every week. Everybody used to fucking love it.
If you take away Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman from SmackDown, who do they got? Charlotte Flair? She gonna carry a whole show?
I don't know. She could for me.
I mean, maybe. We talked about her and Andrade on the show on Sunday. He's saying they're not broken up, so
They're not.
You still got a shot, man. I mean, you don't have a shot.
I don't have a shot now.
You don't have a shot.
If they're not broken up.
But if they were broken up, maybe you got a shot. Alex is in love with her, so I told him, I'm sorry, man. I hate to burst your bubble, but
not for nothing. And this is going to AEW. But I think Ty Conti is single now. She just divorced her husband.
She did. She officially announced it on Instagram that she divorced her husband. Yes. Ty Conti. She's on AEW.
Oh.
I have an audience. Sorry.
Got another special guest here.
Yeah, I have a special guest. Well, I always have special guests. They're always around.
Yeah.
My son pops in. My daughter, she tried to pop in a little bit ago.
How do you feel about people coming up with this theory that she's doing some things with Sammy Guevara?
That who's doing things with Sammy Guevara?
Ty.
I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard that?
I haven't been on the rumor mill to hear that one yet. That one hasn't made it to my
So there's this thing called Twitter Spaces, right? I don't know
Twitter
if you
Spaces. I'm not on Twitter.
Okay.
Alex is on Twitter, so I have to tell him all about it.
Tell them all about it because these things are interesting. There's a bunch of wrestling fans / wrestlers who talk a lot, and they'll get on these spaces, and I'll hear a bunch of rumors or their opinions on things, and one of them being saying like either it's joking or it's not. I'm not quite sure if they're serious, but like the fact that Ty Conti and Sammy Guevara are constantly with each other on his vlogs.
Right.
A lot of people are just like, come on, there's no way they're not together. But to me, it's kind of fucked up because in reality, Sammy Guevara is engaged.
Oh, is he?
Yes, to this woman named Pam.
I mean, these people are on the road together like all the time.
That's another point somebody made.
How do they not fall in love with each other?
Yeah, and that's a point somebody made. Like, who knows what they're doing when they're on the road with these hotels and shit like that. But if here's my take on it. Here's my opinion. If Sammy Guevara is doing shit with Ty and he knows damn well he's engaged, dude's a piece of shit. But if he decides that maybe later down the line he wants to get rid of Pam or close off the engagement and then go with Ty, I'm happy for that, man.
Hey, you don't know what kind of arrangement him and his girlfriend have. I mean, you don't know.
I don't. That's right. Maybe it's an open relationship.
So it's hard to throw a statement out like that.
I guess, but I feel like once you go on one knee and say, "Will you marry me?"
Right.
You're bound to that person for a long time. I don't know personally because I've never dealt with that because I'm a wrestling fan. So wrestling fans don't get married.
Well, I mean, this one did, but it's all right.
I'm just kidding.
It's all good.
But I don't know, man. It's just interesting to me when people have their own opinions about shit like that.
This Twitter space thing that you're talking about, though, I'll definitely have to tell Alex about it.
Tell him about it. It's a good way to network.
Good way to network. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, speaking of AEW women wrestlers, Chelsea Green reposted to her story something that we posted earlier. Well, actually, we posted it last night, and then she posted it today on her story. So check out Chelsea Green. She reposted our thing. It was her when she's taking flight at the Ring of Honor, this past weekend, and then I think we reposted it to our story, and I put wings on her, and I said Superman ain't got shit on Chelsea Green.
I saw that. That was
Chelsea
you?
Green reposted it on her story.
Hey, that's cool, man.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. I saw that. I was like, wow, it's a good edit. And then
yeah, I just did an Instagram story and I put wings on her where it looked like she was flying.
That's dope. That's dope.
I wish she would have followed us back, but it's all good.
Yeah, no. You can't always get what you want, man. She was actually supposed to be at Warrior Wrestling to face Sky Blue, and she backed out I wouldn't say last minute, but she backed out, and they ended up doing a fatal four-way where Billy Starks ended up, I think she got legitimately fucked up in the ribs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a bad spot. It's actually on my page. I don't know if you saw it. It's where Gringo Loco had her on the top rope and power bombed her straight down.
Oh, no, I didn't see that. What is this thing I'm hearing about this referee that got his artery busted in his head from a head shaving incident? What is this that everybody's talking about?
So there's this indie wrestler named Hannibal.
Okay.
I don't know the context of it all, but apparently after the match, he was supposed to get angry and then attack the ref.
Right.
Well, he took it too far, obviously. The plan was for the ref to get beat up, get bladed, right?
Right.
And then bleed, but he wasn't bleeding like Hannibal wanted him to. So Hannibal, the wrestler, took it into his own hands and had I don't know what it was, a fork or a knife or something like that, started stabbing the side of his head.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just started stabbing him.
What? Well, I guess Will Ospreay had said that Hannibal, he should have criminal charges pressed on.
He should, because that was straight up assault.
That is. What the hell? Yeah, I've been able to catch bits and pieces, but not the whole story.
Because listen, if New Jack can get charges against him for stabbing a guy,
absolutely,
then why is this guy any different?
Yeah.
Just because he wasn't bleeding? And apparently Hannibal had to tell, he was trying to kayfabe with the cops. The actual cops showed up, because some people were disturbed by the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And other people were trying to convince the cops, it's just a work. It's just a work. It's just for show. But this dude got legitimate to the point where, he had cuts. I'm talking all
I seen
across
it.
his
I
head.
seen it online. I seen all the cuts on his
and
head.
Now he's got a GoFundMe page and shit like that. It's insane, man. I get it that you're doing this for entertainment, but there's comes to a point where you got to be is it really worth my I never even heard of Hannibal until now, but is it really worth to have that notoriety, that bad notoriety?
Yeah, because nobody's gonna want to work with this dude now.
No, not anymore. Well, you're not gonna bleed for me? Well, fuck it. I'll just stab your head. No.
Right? What is
Get the fuck out of here, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, man, they're not I don't think they got it all there,
I don't think so either. And that's that was a point I was trying to make with some other people. I don't want to say anything because there might be some wrestlers listening because we are live on Twitter. Right. So, but yeah, some of them aren't right. Some of them aren't right in the head. And that's what we got to forget, that some of these fans that we see that are weird, like the dude that attacked Seth Rollins, are sometimes the people who become wrestlers.
Right. Exactly.
So we got to be careful, who we cheer, who we make fun of, shit like that, because we never know if you go to an indie show, if you're going to get attacked or some shit like that. It's just going to be insane shit.
You never know, man. You really do.
But, yeah, you got anything else, man?
That's it, man. I mean, we could talk forever, but I know we got to wrap it up.
Yeah. I gotta do some homework. I'm a college kid, so homework is some big stuff for me. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. So, with that being said, Tony Twist, host of one of two hosts for the All Things Wrestling podcast. How would people find you on social media?
Well, we do a lot on our Instagram page, ATW_podcast for life, spelled out FOR life. And then we're on Facebook, All Things Wrestling Podcast, ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast. I think Alex has a Twitter for us, ATW Podcast for Life. Yeah, we're going to be doing a YouTube page. So we're actually presented by Word on the Street. Word on the Street is a bigger podcast that we're under, and they have Facebook and Instagram and all that. But I'm not here talking about them. I'm here talking about us. So you can find me, ATW_Tony_twist on Instagram. And like I said, our ATW podcast is ATW_podcast for life on Instagram. That's where I do most of my interacting with fans and talking to other wrestlers. And we're on every Sunday live on Facebook, on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube. You can check us out at 12 p.m. Eastern. Go to our Facebook page, and you can find us from there. But yeah, every Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern, and we usually have a pretty good guest on. Trying to line up a big guest for this weekend, which I think we might be able to. So we'll see. But in the wrestling world, people get tied up, they get busy, they get last minute stuff, and it's all good. We're really understanding. We've had some really good guests on, so hoping to have another good one on this Sunday.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to Sunday.
Yeah, I enjoyed you having me on, man. I'll be on again. I'll do this again. This is fun. This time of night's great. I can have myself a drink. I can't really be drinking at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock my time in the morning. I'm still having coffee. So
yeah, this is perfect, man. Next time I'm gonna bring a 6-pack of actual Mickeys, and then I'll drink Mickeys instead of Mickey Ultra. You know what I mean? All right. So thank you guys. This has been episode 2. Episode 3 coming to you next week. I'm gonna have a special guest. Not going to say who it is yet because I like to keep it a secret.
There you go. Keep it under the hat.
Keep it under the hat for now. But that being said, you guys can follow me. You guys know where to go. Subscribe to my channel. And that's it. So thank you, Tony. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Go eat some tacos, man. It's Taco Tuesday.
It's Taco Tuesday for life.
Later.